Morning folks. Well, I'm back out on the paddle again, another weekday paddle, and I've travelled down to Basingstoke in Hampshire, or Hook in Hampshire. I've just put in the water at Barley Mow. I'm paddling down towards Crookham Wharf, and I'm just passing under the Barley Mow bridge now. It's all these bridges are sort of the 1700s, 1792 this one. So that's the bridge behind you. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn the camera around, paddle down a bit, and I'll get back to you in a bit. And to the left here is the Barley Mow slip that I tend to get in from the bank. Saves getting your feet wet. Fishermen on the left hand bank with a nice narrow boat that's normally always there. Well, let's crack on. Well, the sun's quite bright at the moment, coming straight on into my face, so I've turned the camera around so you can see my ugly mug. A beautiful house to the right here. It's got its own open launching pad. Just showing you the view of the right hand bank. On the left hand bank we've got a towpath which hopefully will be a future walk for me at some point when I'm down here, probably next spring. It looks like this is a winding point, yes, so the narrow boats can turn around. We've got a road to the left here, as you can hear. It's the road I come down to get to the Barley Mow car park, and there's the pub, the Barley Mow there, which unfortunately doesn't open on Mondays and Tuesdays, and it's Tuesday today. Otherwise I might have stopped for a swift shandy on the way back, but not to worry. It sounds like there's some tree felling going on ahead. You can probably hear that, the old noise of the chainsaw. And at the moment I've got the canal to myself. It is early, it's 9:30. I put in at, so I left at 6 AM. It's a 70-mile journey. And it's taken me quite a while to get down here today and get set up. We're slowly leaving the noise of the chainsaw behind us now, and hopefully a little bit quieter. The paddle in front of us, and these ducks are playing around here. They're sort of waiting for me to catch up and taking off. It's like a little bit of a game. I think they think I've got food. So as I said, I left quite early. I was up at 5 AM. I left at 6 and I got here round about 10 to 9. So it's a 70-mile journey. But unfortunately you have the M25 to contend with, heading towards London, and the M3. And there's lots of roadworks going on at the moment. So it literally did take me best part of 3 hours to do 70 miles, which is a bit of a pain. It would probably be better if I did this journey on a Saturday or a Sunday, but then again I'll have to contend with a lot more people on the canal, so personally I prefer it this way round. I'm in no rush, I've got all day. It's quite chilly today. Not feeling it so much now I'm out on the paddle, but I've got a couple of layers on, as you can probably see. So yeah, it's the first time it's been chilly, and it's sort of, you get out of the car and you go, ooh, you know, it takes you 5 or 10 minutes before you get your arse in gear to get set up, but once you get going, it's well worth it. This is a very scenic section of the canal, very quiet, very tall trees on the right hand side, the woodlands there. I have been out on this canal before. It was 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. I came down to Barley Mow and I paddled to Odium, King John's Castle area. It was a blisteringly hot day, up in the 30s, but stark contrast today where it's around about 10 degrees at the moment, with probably maxing out at about 14 or 15, which is good enough. It's good for the paddle. In fact, it's the weather I prefer. And as you can see at the moment, slightly overcast, but no plans for rain, so fingers crossed we're going to have a nice journey out and back. It's quite shallow in parts, this canal. I mean, we are just coming out of summer. I can see, even though the water's murky, I can see the bottom. And the woodland on the right hand side is absolutely stunning. It's I believe it's Dogma's Field, is it? Dogma's Field. Let's just get around this tree stump. Too much talking, distracting myself. You've got the start of the autumn colours. Things seem to have been delayed this year. It's we're in mid-October now. As you can see, everything's still quite green, just beginning to turn golden yellow. But yeah, I love this time of year. Autumn is my favourite time. Little family of ducks going along there in front of me. Let's catch them up. I'm sure they're very used to visitors. They're always on the prowl or ponce for food. It was my intention to actually launch or put in at Crookham Wharf, but having done a bit of a recce and knowing that the water level's quite low at the moment, I really didn't fancy it. It's a bit of an issue at the moment for me with this meniscus tear. I mean, I'm doing well. I'm healing quite nicely. It's a very slow process, but there is certain things I just cannot do or do not want to do as yet. The problem is at the moment with this meniscus tear, although it's healing very slowly, I cannot enter the craft from a high bank, or what I consider a high bank. I tend to put all my weight on my left leg, get down low and pivot to get into the craft. I don't weight bear at all on my right leg, so it's not feasible to get in from a high bank, not yet. Another issue I have at the moment is if the water level's high. Now, when I was out on the River Stour or Store week before last, the water level was very high. It was level with the actual platforms, and I had real difficulty getting in and out. And in fact, with that and the very short portages I did carrying the kayak, I put myself back a few weeks. I got injured again. Well, not injured again, I caused myself issues with my injury, and it's taken me 2 weeks of doing nothing but stretching. I've not been able to exercise to get myself back to where I was before that paddle. So I've got to look after myself. other than the bird song, you could hear a pin drop. It's absolutely lovely. Well worth the drive already. And I've only been out on the water for about 10-15 minutes. Wind's picking up slightly. There's gusts probably about 10-12 mile an hour. No big issue. It'll keep me cool as I get further down. It's quite nice for me to do a recce at the towpath. I've not been down this way, and it's right by the edge of the river here, which is not too overgrown on the left hand side, so it would be a very pleasant walk. So as I said earlier, it's something I'm going to actually look into for next year. I've got quite a lot of plans for next year, which I'll probably talk about a little bit later on in the video. Well, as I was setting up, 3 other cars appeared in the car park, and a group of younger people setting up paddle boards. One's got a canoe, 2 got paddle boards, so they're going the other way up towards Odium. I wasn't planning on going that way anyway, but I sort of went up a little bit just to start the filming, just to get away from them, because I was trying to film and they were setting up. You could hear the pumps going and all that, so I sort of just paddled up a couple of 100 metres, turned around, and that gave me a start to do my intro. Lots of berries on the right hand side. No damselfly now. I don't know whether they're all killed off now. Yeah, probably. Always very pretty when you paddle along to see all the damselfly and quite large dragonflies just merrily going about their business. I've brought my packed lunch with me and a nice flask of ground coffee, which I'm looking forward to a little bit later. I didn't have any breakfast. It was far too early for me. I'm actually hungry now, and it's about 10 o'clock. Well, I would be, but I'm going to hold on. I don't want to eat all my lunch yet. I think we'll leave it till a little bit later. But I doubt if I'll be getting out at Crookham, because like I said, if the bank's that high, that was the idea of not going there to put in the water. So it might just be a turnaround. Although I do believe, having watched several YouTube videos on this section, that there is places I can get out en route on the way back. So I might sort of take that opportunity and dive out somewhere for lunch before I get back to Barley Mow. Just approaching another old bridge. They're lovely, these bridges. And this looks like another winding point here. Yes, it is. So if I just turn round here, as you can see, it's very wide at this section. So you've got 2 purposes of this. You can probably not, well, you probably won't be able to get 2 narrow boats through under the bridge at the same time. So one can pull up to the left-hand bank, my left-hand bank, while the other one comes through and moves to the right-hand side towards the winding bay. So yeah, they can pass each other, and obviously you can turn your narrow boats around. So you'll find several of these on this section. I'm going to try and clock the name of this bridge once I'm under it, because the signs are normally on the other side. But the bridge I've just gone under is called Blacksmith's Bridge. There's another one approximately 200 metres further down called Double Bridge. They're all built around about the same time, 1792. So, lovely breeze in my face. Doesn't take long to warm up. I hope the audio is coming out okay this morning. What I've done today, I've swapped the dead cat out for just the standard foam mic cover. So I'm just hoping there's just not too much wind for this cover. But you should actually get more nature sounds with this rather than the dead cat, because although that cuts down the wind, it also cuts down the ambient sounds around me. So I'm sort of testing this one out and see how it goes. If it gets much windier, I have got it in the dry sack at the back of the kayak, so I can swap it out. The wind's picking up now. Whoa, that's blowy and cold. That's it, just passing under Double Bridge. The bank's quite high on the left here, whereas at the bridge before I could have literally got out. It was at a nice height to actually just push myself out and sit on the bank. We've got approximately a mile to go before we reach Crookham Wharf. Not too far, so I may paddle a bit further down, find somewhere to stop and have a coffee, because I'm doing really good time. I don't really want to just turn around having come all this way and just do a sort of 5.5 mile paddle. I'd rather extend it, make the most of it. Some beautiful houses on the right, I'll show you them on the way back. Yeah, absolutely stunning houses, loads of grounds. Oh, look how pretty this is. Just thought I'd give you a peek at this property on the right hand side here. Wow, absolutely beautiful setting. Garden's so well tended. Lovely summer house on the side. A view over the river. Oh, absolutely beautiful. I think views like this and seeing the houses from the river and canal banks is what drew me back to the water after years. I mean, I paddled a lot when I was younger, mainly canoes back then. I'm talking about in my teens, over 50, 55 years ago. And prior to getting back on the water in 2017, I got quite heavily into aerial photography, so I was flying drones for a few years, thoroughly enjoying it. And that was giving me a completely different perspective. I was doing quite a lot of flying up in Scotland. In fact, I crashed one of my drones, you know, at the time, a couple of £1,000 worth, into the side of a Munro, but that's another story. That was an ouch. But then getting on the water, I sort of said, wow, you know, so it went from one extreme to the other. One was sort of, all right, under 400 feet in the air, but, you know, quite high up. And the other one was flat like you're lying down on the water. So yeah, completely different. But this one, even more so than the flying, gets me the places that you just cannot get to on foot a lot of the time. I know there's a towpath along here, but some of the places I go you just cannot get to on foot. You need to be on the water. I hope this view on camera looks as good as it does to me. I'm really enjoying this. This is I needed this, a calm paddle, after the last couple, which have been a little bit more exciting, to put it mildly. On the left hand side here, let's go over, it's a Second World War pillbox As you've probably noticed on most of my videos, the southeast is absolutely littered with pillboxes. They considered places like the Thames, the Medway, the Stour, the Kentish Stour and the Essex-Suffolk Stour as possible invasion points for London and to get up into obviously East Anglia. So they were heavily fortified during the Second World War, but never used in anger. I've also noticed on this section as I paddle along, there's a lot of anti-tank defences as well on the bank. They're basically huge concrete structures that they would have stuck on the bridges to stop the tanks passing, or at least slow them down. But they've all been sort of discarded and dumped at the side of on the right hand side here of the river, and they're just sort of all overgrown, but you can make out what they are if you know what they are. I seem to have picked up a huge clunk of weed and I'm dragging a log. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how I try and clear my skeg. And what it is, I spin on the spot. It also gives you an opportunity to see, for anyone that's interested in this kayak, to see the capability of turning circle. So what I do is I turn, paddle backwards a bit and then keep turning. That's it. And there you go, I've just done a full circle. I just stop sort of midway and I just go backwards, forwards a bit. Yeah, and I freed it. So they are just a tip. If you pick up a load of weed, or you feel there's drag on the skeg, try spinning round, paddling them backwards and forwards. You can often free it up. Some of the time when you're spinning, you'll literally see it drag to the side, and then you can sort of dig your paddle in and start tearing it off. So just a little top tip there. I've just seen a large terpin dead in the water. Wondered what it was for a moment. That's a shame. Still a lot of leaf cover down here, as I was saying earlier. If you think that we are past mid-October, we've still got so much leaf on the trees, it's quite amazing. Water's like a mill pond, as you can see. So far I've seen one canoeist, 2 paddlers, that's when I set off, and 2 runners on the footpath. That is it. Happy Tuesdays. Right, there is one of the anti-tank bollards directly in front of me. I'm just going to have to back paddle a bit because I'm going right towards it. So that's just one on its own, but you often see them in groups of sort of 6 and 8. So obviously that one, it may have been on the bank and it's fallen into the water. And that is one large beast of a piece of concrete. Must have been fun transporting them to the actual bridges, moving them into place. As you may be able to see on my lapel, I'm sporting my poppy. It's that time of year again. Show some respect for the people that lost their lives in the First and Second World War, indeed any war, and of all nations. Canals and rivers like the River Medway, although the River Medway in sections does have considerable amount of river traffic, they're much calmer. The Stour was quite challenging for me, even more so with an injury, but you had the narrow bits and the shallow bits. I was also challenged by the filming because they were very hot days. The sun was ruining a lot of my footage, but it's actually, this is more my scene really. This is more my style. mean, on this paddle today, I've got a lot more time to just amble along and look around. I can look up and round. The water in the middle is quite deep. I'm unlikely to hit anything. Yeah, it's just it's just like the difference between black and white. However, they're both great. They're just, they're so different, but they're both great. I've enjoyed the Stour and I'll get back out on it soon. I just needed a break and give my leg a rest to try and find a paddle that's more doable at the moment. Well, the bank on this sections are considerably higher. No way of getting out on the right hand side with the brambles and the berries and the nettles, and the left hand side's a bit more built up, but no biggie. I've seen plenty of places I could have actually got out already, so if I did want to take a rest, I'll just moor up and jump out for a bit. That sunshine's lovely just coming through the trees there. Just a little flicker of sun every so often, but I do like the shade. And that's a big old tree leaning over the river there. Proper old widowmaker that is. That wind's very strong now, but because the banks are so high on the left and the right, it's whistling over the top of me, so it's not bothering me at all. Because you've literally got about a 20-foot bank on the left and equally on the right. Something just, I don't know, that fell off a tree and hit the back of my kayak. Startled me, whatever it was. It could be that I'm actually hitting debris in the water that I can't see just below the surface. I'm not really paying a lot of attention to the water because I know it's a bit deeper, but there is a lot of debris, a lot of logs floating around here, so I'm probably just banging them on my skeg under the water. It didn't give me a start. It sounded like something had leapt out of a tree and landed on the back of the deck of the kayak, but I've managed to turn around and it hasn't. I'll just slow down for a moment. We're approaching Crookham Wharf now, so I may just pull in over here for a minute and get my bearings. Let's just pull over by the bank here. Now this is what I said, and my recce was right. Look at the height. Now that's doable if I was fit, but there's no way I could put my left leg in, pivot, remembering, my arthritis is actually worse in my left knee. So there's no saying that wouldn't give away. It's just not causing me any pain at the moment. Let's just pull up the side here. Have a little think about what I want to do. No, I wouldn't be able to get in here. I'd really struggle. Also, I can't get out. That's it. Let's just sit here for a minute and have a little ponder. Well, what I've done, I've just decided to pour myself a nice hot cup of ground coffee. It's the sort of weather for it now. Whereas on my last couple of paddles when I was out and it was really hot, coffee was the last thing on your mind. I just sort of had a cup when I was stopping for a sandwich. But there's a car park just to my left. The little car park looks really sort of cute and out of the way, but this bank is just far too high for me to get out. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do, I'm going to have this coffee, have a 5-minute sit here, and I'm going to carry on a bit further down because I just seem to have got here really quick. I think because I was doing the Stour and that was quite heavy going, I've covered more miles very quickly on this canal, being so sort of open and calm. Well, I thoroughly enjoyed that cup of coffee. That was absolutely spanking. That was lovely. Yeah, I'm going to carry on for about another half hour. So yeah, we'll carry on filming, then I'll turn back, because this is a long way to come just to do this section and turn back. And it's a nice day, and we got some proper shit weather coming in from tomorrow. So I think there's a storm due, so I may not be getting out for a while. So yeah, let's crack on that way. That's it, away from the bank. It's a shame I can't get out here. It looks absolutely lovely, little car park. Really peaceful.